LeBron, he's too big to be that type of bully.
LeBron James just cannot seem to stay out of the drama, and now Charles Barkley is getting involved. Recently, Charles has been speaking out about LeBron, and there has been a lot of buzz around it. If you missed what happened, here's the breakdown. LeBron has been in a heated argument with Stephen A. Smith. The trouble started when Stephen made some comments about LeBron's son, Bronny. Everyone knows that LeBron is very protective of his family, especially his kids, and this upset him. He ended up confronting Stephen at a game, and things only got worse from there. But Stephen A. Smith is not one to back down from a fight, so he fired back at LeBron. This led to a lot of back and forth, making the whole situation even messier. Now, Charles Barkley has stepped in and criticized LeBron for what he thinks is bullying Stephen A. According to Charles, LeBron is going too far, and he feels there is something that LeBron is not telling us. Charles believes there is more to the story than what LeBron has shared. But what exactly did LeBron say that upset Charles so much? And what truth might LeBron be hiding from everyone? Charles Barkley has made it clear that he is standing up for Stephen A. Smith and is trying to protect him from the pressure LeBron is putting on him. It makes sense why Charles would feel this way, especially after LeBron went on the Pat McAfee podcast to talk about his issues with Stephen. LeBron does not often do interviews, especially not ones like this. So when fans heard he would be on the podcast, they knew it would be a chance for LeBron to take a few shots at Stephen. LeBron did not hold back. In the interview, he made himself look like the victim, while putting the blame on Stephen for making things personal. LeBron explained that he was just trying to protect his family and that Stephen had crossed a line. He said that he had no problem with people criticizing his performance on the court, but once things got personal, it became an issue. LeBron made it clear that he felt the need to defend his family and that no one should attack them. LeBron probably expected people to support him because he is one of the greatest players in basketball history. But to his surprise, many people sided with Stephen A. instead. They felt that LeBron had gone too far. Charles Barkley agreed with them and even called LeBron a bully during a live stream. He said that LeBron is too important and too big of a figure to act that way. Charles also said that he has always liked LeBron, but this behavior really turned him off. What started as a small argument has now turned into a huge public drama. It all began when Stephen A. Smith criticized LeBron for putting too much pressure on his son, Bronny. Stephen thought LeBron's dream of playing with Bronny in the NBA was unrealistic because Bronny might not be ready for that kind of expectation. Stephen did not have a problem with the idea of a father-son duo in the NBA, but he worried that it was too much for Bronny. Being the son of such a famous player comes with a lot of pressure, and Stephen thought LeBron should be more careful about that. This whole situation has blown up, and it does not seem like it will end anytime soon. It is interesting to watch, but it also makes you wonder how much more will come out of this drama. Bronny James always seems to have everyone talking about him, even though he was not a top draft pick. Stephen A. Smith thinks LeBron should have allowed Bronny to stay in the G League and improve his skills there instead of rushing him into the NBA. Stephen believes that putting Bronny into the NBA before he is ready could hurt his growth as a player. He has openly shared his doubts about whether Bronny is truly prepared for the NBA. According to Stephen, there are many other young players who are working hard for a chance to play in the league, and some of them might deserve that chance more than Bronny does. Stephen's opinion may sound harsh to some, but he is not the only one who has concerns about Bronny's ability to make it in the NBA. Many others believe that Bronny should stay in college for now because he is not yet at the level needed to be a top pick in the NBA draft. This means his name might not be called on draft day. Stephen's point is that it is very unlikely that Bronny will be able to achieve what LeBron has accomplished in his career. Right now, Bronny is not at an NBA level. Charles Barkley has also spoken about this situation. He criticized the Lakers for how they have handled Bronny's progress. Charles believes that instead of pushing him into the NBA, they should have let Bronny develop his skills in the G League. In Charles's opinion, this would allow Bronny to prove himself before joining the NBA. He thinks that would make Bronny's place in the league more earned rather than just given to him because of his famous father. Charles is clear that Bronny is not ready for the NBA yet and needs more time to grow as a player.
Started off with
I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it.
Some people might think this criticism comes from jealousy of LeBron, but that is not the case. Many others, including experts, have also expressed concerns about Bronny's readiness for the NBA. For example, ESPN's NBA draft analyst Jonathin said that Bronny had done well, especially after dealing with a serious heart issue that caused him to miss several months. He pointed out that this health problem affected Bronny's season, and as a result, he was taken off the list of top prospects. When this happened, LeBron was upset and took to social media to defend his son. He accused people of hating on Bronny and said they should let him enjoy his time in college basketball. LeBron emphasized that the hard work and results would speak for themselves. Stephen A. Smith did not hold back when he responded to LeBron's outburst. He said that the negativity surrounding Bronny was a result of LeBron's actions, adding that the attention Bronny has gotten is because of his famous father. Stephen argued that Bronny is just trying to focus on improving his game, but LeBron keeps making him a headline. Stephen believes that if LeBron really cared about his son, he would let Bronny develop without all the added pressure. Stephen thinks that LeBron should allow Bronny to grow naturally without forcing a father-son duo in the NBA. It is a dream for any father and son to play together on the same team, and for LeBron, it would be especially special because no other father and son duo has ever played together in the NBA. However, this raises an important question. Does Bronny even want this? And if he does, is he really ready for it? Many fans believe that LeBron should ask himself what matters more, sharing the court with his son or giving Bronny the space to build his own legacy and achieve greatness on his own terms. Stephen A. Smith continues to remind LeBron that Bronny deserves the chance to develop his skills without the extra pressure of living up to his father's incredible legacy. After the Lakers lost to the 76ers, Stephen A. Smith did not hold back with his thoughts. Bronny James played for 15 minutes and did not score any points. It was a tough game for him, but honestly, it was not a big surprise. Bronny's coach, JJ Redick, looked disappointed during the post-game press conference. He tried to explain it by saying Bronny was struggling with the huge media pressure. But at this point, that explanation is starting to sound like the same excuse over and over. JJ said the goal was to get some energy from Bronny, especially after a back-to-back game. He admitted that Bronny did not play well, but mentioned that he had been playing great in the G League and other games. Still, it was clear that Bronny had been pushed too far, too fast, and it was not the best decision for him. Stephen A. Smith quickly reacted to the game. He told LeBron to stop forcing things and said that Bronny just is not ready yet. He pointed out that there is nothing wrong with letting Bronny take his time to develop in a less stressful environment. To make his point even clearer, Stephen looked at Bronny's stats. In 13 NBA games, Bronny averaged only 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. He made just one shot out of 16 attempts and missed all 7 of his three-point shots. Stephen said he was not attacking LeBron's talent or his amazing career. Instead, he was worried that LeBron's dream of playing with his son might actually hurt Bronny's career. Stephen made it clear that he thought the moment when LeBron and Bronny played together in an NBA game was special. It was a historic moment, like the one with Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. in baseball. But Stephen's point was that, while the moment was great, Bronny is not yet ready for a full NBA career. Stephen is not saying that Bronny will never be ready or that he does not have potential. He actually believes that Bronny can make it to the NBA someday, especially after watching him play in the G League. However, Stephen is concerned that LeBron is pushing his son into something he is not prepared for. He thinks that Bronny needs more time to grow as a player before he is put under the huge pressure of playing in the NBA. Stephen's comments may have been tough for some to hear, but they came from a place of care for Bronny's future. He just wants to make sure that Bronny has the time to develop and succeed without being rushed into the spotlight too soon. It is important for Bronny to build his own legacy and not have the weight of his father's dreams on his shoulders. Things got really heated after Stephen A. Smith made some comments about Bronny James. He pointed out that Bronny is struggling in the NBA, and with all the pressure on him, it could hurt his development. Stephen said that LeBron's influence can only help Bronny for so long. But LeBron did not like what Stephen said. Things got wild when Stephen A. and LeBron were both at the Lakers vs. Knicks game. The Lakers won, but what happened off the court stole the spotlight. During a break in the game, LeBron marched up to Stephen A. Smith. It didn't take long for things to get intense. LeBron confronted Stephen, telling him to keep his son's name out of his mouth. The two exchanged words, and it was clear that this was no friendly conversation. Later, LeBron spoke to Richard Jefferson at a Lakers-Celtics game, and fans soon realized why he was so upset. Fans took sides, with many defending LeBron. They felt Stephen A. was wrong for calling LeBron a bad father, just because he wanted to give Bronny the kind of opportunities he never had. But Stephen A. was not backing down. On Gilbert Arenas' show, he said that LeBron's actions were weak, but also understood that LeBron was speaking as a father. However, Stephen stood by his comments. He said anyone who didn't see the issues with how LeBron was handling his son's career was being unrealistic.
Had a better week, LeBron James or Stephen A. Smith?
They both had an awful week.
Stephen explained that he had warned LeBron before Bronny even got drafted. He said that LeBron was putting too much pressure on his son and that it could hurt him in the long run. Stephen felt that LeBron's push to get Bronny into the spotlight too quickly might end up being a mistake. He pointed out that other big NBA stars like Melo, D. Wade, and Tim Hardaway didn't put their sons under the same kind of pressure. Stephen made it clear that he didn't have anything against LeBron or Bronny. He understood that LeBron was trying to help his son, but he believed the timing was wrong. Some people agreed with Stephen, saying he might have been too harsh. Others felt LeBron was simply trying to give Bronny a chance to succeed, but doing it too quickly. LeBron then made comments on the McAfee podcast, accusing Stephen A. of being unfair. Charles Barkley then called out LeBron, saying he was acting like a bully. Stephen A. responded, saying he had always been honest and wasn't trying to attack LeBron or Bronny. Now, the question is, do you think Charles Barkley is right and LeBron is being a bully? Or do you believe LeBron just wants to give his son a fair shot? Share your thoughts in the comments. The ongoing drama between Stephen A. Smith, LeBron James, and Charles Barkley is a fascinating reflection of the complex world of sports media and family dynamics. It all began when Stephen A. Smith, known for his strong opinions, made it clear that he did not have anything personal against LeBron James or his son, Bronny. He acknowledged that LeBron was simply trying to help his son navigate the pressures of professional basketball, but he believed that the timing of LeBron's actions might have been off. Smith's critique centered on the idea that LeBron was pushing for his son's success in a manner that could potentially hurt Bronny's future prospects in the long run. Stephen A. argued that while he respected LeBron's intentions as a father, the public nature of the situation could have negative consequences for both Bronny and LeBron. In his mind, LeBron's involvement in pushing Bronny into the spotlight too quickly, without allowing the younger James to carve out his own path, could set Bronny up for unfair comparisons and unrealistic expectations. The pressure of being the son of the greatest basketball player of all time is immense, and Stephen A. suggested that Bronny might not yet be ready for such scrutiny. On the other hand, there were those who agreed with Stephen A.'s point of view. They felt that LeBron's actions, though motivated by love and a desire to help his son succeed, might have been too forceful. The notion that a father would try to open doors for his son in an already competitive and unforgiving arena without allowing him time to develop his own identity as a player was seen by some as a potential misstep. Critics also pointed out that LeBron's overwhelming presence in the basketball world could overshadow Bronny's natural growth and progression. However, not everyone agreed with Stephen A. Smith. Many defended LeBron's actions, claiming that he was simply trying to give Bronny the best shot at success. LeBron's decision to publicly support his son and help him navigate the path to professional basketball was viewed by some as a father's responsibility. After all, what better person to guide a young athlete than someone who has already experienced the pressures of being a sports icon? From this perspective, LeBron was seen as trying to help Bronny avoid the pitfalls that come with entering a field dominated by highly competitive and often ruthless athletes. This back and forth between Stephen A. and LeBron took another turn when LeBron appeared on the McAfee podcast, where he accused Stephen A. of being unfair in his analysis. LeBron's comments added fuel to the fire, and soon after, Charles Barkley weighed in. Barkley, never one to shy away from controversy, called out LeBron for what he perceived as bullying behavior. Barkley argued that LeBron was using his power and influence to silence criticism and to shape the narrative around his son. According to Barkley, LeBron was acting like a bully by attempting to control the public discourse surrounding Bronny's potential career and the opinions of media personalities like Stephen A. Charles Barkley's comments were a bold critique of LeBron's actions, and they sparked further debate. Barkley, who has never been afraid to speak his mind, suggested that LeBron's efforts to shield his son from criticism and to push his own agenda was an unhealthy dynamic that could backfire. He called out LeBron for using his status to dictate how others should perceive Bronny and the situation as a whole. For Barkley, the issue wasn't just about LeBron's intentions, it was about the way in which LeBron was using his power in a potentially coercive manner. Stephen A. Smith responded to the growing feud, standing by his original stance that he had always been honest in his analysis and never intended to attack either LeBron or Bronny personally. According to Stephen A., his comments were based on his understanding of the situation and his experience as a media personality. He reiterated that his critique was not a personal attack, but rather an analysis of the timing and potential consequences of LeBron's actions. For Stephen A., the real issue was about fairness and ensuring that Bronny was not thrust into the spotlight too quickly. Now, the question remains, who is right in this situation? Is Charles Barkley correct in labeling LeBron's actions as bullying, or is LeBron simply trying to give his son the best shot possible? There's no easy answer, as both sides have valid points. On one hand, LeBron's desire to help his son succeed is understandable, especially considering the unique pressures Bronny faces as the son of a global superstar. However, the timing of these efforts and the potential for them to backfire is a real concern. On the other hand, while Barkley's criticism of LeBron's behavior may seem harsh, there's a valid argument that LeBron's influence could be crossing the line into manipulation. Ultimately, the dynamics between LeBron, Stephen A., and Charles Barkley highlight the complexity of the relationships between public figures, the media, and family. LeBron's role as a father and as an athlete is constantly scrutinized, and every decision he makes is subject to intense public analysis. Whether LeBron is being a bully or simply trying to protect his son remains a matter of perspective. What is clear, however, is that this situation is far from over, and it will likely continue to fuel debates for some time to come.